Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair and Madam Mayor.
Just a minute, Afghanistan, before you make your presentation. I believe that the presentation which was submitted as a contribution is a little different from what you're presenting now.
Yeah.
And I think I would request TSP to clarify that, please.
So the reason why the document projected on the screen right now is different from the contribution that's posted on the SG3 website was because Afghanistan wanted to make a few changes. So we agreed upon it that this would be projected. But as you know, after the contribution deadline, it is quite difficult to change a contribution. So just for clarification purposes, just if you're confused if this contribution is different from the one that is on the website. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Lead Chair and Ms. Mayor. First of all, I am very sorry about that we have two types of files in my laptop. One was the draft contribution, which I was working on that, and the second was the final contribution. Due to some technical problems in my email, I just mistakenly sent the draft contribution to you. Therefore, I will represent my final contribution, which is only 2 pages from my laptop. With the subject about the big data and digital identity, I am going to start here from abstract. Those who rule data will rule the entire world. That's what people of the future will say. If we agree on this premise, the question becomes, who do you want to own this data? Do you want this data to be ruled by corporations, or do you want to have ownership and control over your own data? As our lives becomes increasingly digital, our digital identities are comprised of the series of digital footprints, data points we leave behind. As a result, digital identity is inextricably tied to data. Data ownership as well as highlight some of the techniques being employed to ensure more secure data exchange. In light of the advancement of technologies that rely heavily upon our data, it's increasingly important to protect and own our digital identity, arguably one of our most valuable assets. Introduction. Identity can be broken down into two distinct aspects. The first is the fact of being who or what a person or thing is. The impact of digital identity focuses on the way in which blockchain technology can be used to create decentralized personal identity tied to a unique and verifiable digital fingerprint. We will focus mainly on the second aspect of identity, which can be defined as the characteristic determining who or what a person or thing is. We leave digital footprints everywhere we go. Advancements in voice technology and the corresponding proliferation of in-home devices mean data collection is no longer restricted to our online lives. All of our steps can be pieced together to create an accurate picture of what we do, what we like, who we talk to, and what we spend money on, and as a result, who we are. I won't go into the prevalence of large-scale data breaches or the role user data play in the business models of many free and widely used internet services. Suffice it to say that we have lost control of our data, and as a result, we have little control over this component of our digital identity. proposal. But here now I know that identities are digital. Identity is inextricably tied to data. In light of the advancement of technology that rely heavily upon this data, it is increasingly important to protect and own the data that comprises our digital identity. We need blockchain technology to help us regain control of our data and as a result our digital identity, and this is more important now than ever as unattended access can lead to unforeseen consequences. Society reflects the technology we build it on. We need to keep building. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Afghanistan, for that presentation. And as you were making the presentations, we were also comparing it with the contribution which has been posted, which is C35. And for the convenience of the delegates, we would just like to mention that the introduction part, the first part, the abstract part, and the introduction part of the contribution, C35 is the one which has been presented and rest all has been deleted, and part related to proposal has been added. And from the conclusion which is there in the proposal, I can see that it has been mentioned that blockchain technology can be used as a means to regain control of our data. And I think it's quite relevant that we are discussing this particular contribution after we just finished agreeing to have a new work item on DLT technical report. So maybe this contribution can, though you have mentioned it under question 13, I think it would more likely fall under question 11, which is on big data and digital identity. And I would like to propose that we will note the contribution which has been made by Afghanistan.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ms. Becky.
Thank you. With this, we would like to move on to the next contribution,